We are now in a much smaller river. It was about the same size as the waterfalls we saw, but it's not as loud as the waterfalls we came from, Cottonwood Canyon in Salt Lake City. This is actually City Creek. It is a historic creek, small river that runs all the way through downtown. The city has preserved its course. It hasn't moved the river to build buildings, which is a very unique thing for a city to do. Now that you know what our riparian zone is, we're going to divide it into two sections of the riparian zone. The riparian zone goes from the edge of the river up a few distance away from the river. This area that is next to the river is called the riparian zone, and there are several sections of it. We're going to do two basic ones, and we're going to study them with a lot of detail. The first one is called floodplain, and it's this white sandy area right next to the shore of the river course, the river creek. This is an area that is very porous, so water as it comes out of the river just sinks down, or water that comes from snows that makes the river much bigger will actually sink through that. There's a very unique design underneath the river that allows the water to stay up above ground. But that's not the case in the floodplains. The floodplains are intended to filter stuff. And it's the same with organisms, bacteria, and so forth that come from the runoff of a mountain from snow primarily. It will soak through this. So this is a very neat filter that nature has designed in order to keep the river clean and to keep it free from hydrocarbons and other pollutants that are natural from the oils of the sap and so forth and so on. The other section is over here. It's a little, not that far from the floodplain, but it's a lot different. And what you see different is that there's a lot more vegetation, there's a lot more green. It's called the riparian buffer. And this is the zone where animals live. This is the ecosystem where plants are more prominent. You can see how much different the plants are up here in the buffer zone than they are in the floodplain. And it is a bankhead for the river. It's like a wall that protects the river from crumbling rocks. It protects the river from pollutants and other contaminants that come naturally from like trees falling down and leaves flowing into it. But it also provides a lot of shade. And animals love this area. Insects love this area. We go digging out here, we'll see so many insects. Two zones we needed to remember, and we'll work a little bit on that. Your first standard, your first project has to do with this detail, this separation of the riparian zone, and you're going to have instructions on that. Two zones, the floodplains down really close next to the edge of the river, and then the riparian buffer, which is all these more natural, more living, more biotic. That's very abiotic down in the floodplains, and in the riverbed, this is very biotic. The temperatures are very well controlled by both areas, and that's why fishes like to be next to the riparian zone, because of temperature, because of the cleanliness, and so forth and so on. Your first standard has to do with these two, and we'll give you the details on what you have to do with the river that you know or that you are close to, and you're going to design how this works in that area.